Hello YouTube, Lyzzärd17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back for another collection update. It's been only, I guess, it's only been like, I guess it'll have been 3 weeks this Sunday since I've done a collection update, but I don't know, I just feel like a ridiculous amount of stuff's coming in. In fact, I'm not even going to show you everything that I have in this video. This is probably like 2/3, I guess, of what I have. I think almost all of it is new releases. So yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get into it. In the background, we're listening to Vulture. I didn't grab the CD, so we're listening to Vulture. So yeah, the new one, Ghastly Waves and Battered Graves. I'll flash up a album picture on the screen somewhere. No. All right. First up, all right, did a little small order through Hoove Records, who I love. Got picked up 3 items. This was the main thing that I was looking for initially. New 7-inch single release from Sweden's Ambush, released out through High Roller Records, Hoove Records. These guys are awesome. I've been waiting for a full-length album from these guys. Obviously hasn't quite come out yet, but these 2 tracks here we got. Oops, that did not work out well. These 2 tracks here we got Hellbiter and Heavy Metal High. They fill my thirst a little bit. The Hellbiter's chorus is really catchy. Just on black with these labels. So yeah, good stuff. You know, I think this came out in like May, maybe. I've been kind of just waiting until I got the physical to give it a listen. But yeah, good stuff. Still would love to get another full-length album from Ambush. Haven't had one since what, Desecrator? Is that what it's called? No, it's called something different. It's called how do you spell Ambush? Ambush spelled, no, Desecrator. And yeah, Firestorm. This album, this is like one of my favorite new wave of traditional heavy metal full albums. Like, that's a great one. And one of the things that's cool about these guys, they have a good mixture of kind of that 80s hair glam-ish kind of style with them. Just enough to like to really pull off the catchiness that I think they do a really good job of. So anyway, Ambush, Hellbiter 7-inch, check the stuff out. Great stuff. All right, and next up, picked up the new release from my own Washington State's Skelator. This album is entitled Cyber Metal. This came out, I don't know, mid-June, sometime like that. Was happy that Hoove got a copy of it, because didn't really want to import that either. Here's the cover art there if you want to take a look at it. Anyway, like I said, these guys are out of Washington State, where I am at. And yeah, heavy metal, good stuff. Enjoy the riffs, good riffing. There's really good soloing on this album. Yeah, just a really good solid release. Actually, this is like the one time ever when new wave of traditional heavy metal full albums. So I don't know if he always does this or if it's just sometimes or how it works, but sometimes at least when the new albums are put on the channel, he has it like sort of a live stream thing going on at the same time. So anyway, I happened to have the day off or something like that day, and saw Skeletor Cyber Metal pop up, and I was like, oh damn, I want to listen to that. And so happened to check it out as it was being put onto the channel. So that was awesome. Good stuff. Cast Iron, love that song a lot. The Hammer, another good track. Anyway, check it out. Skeletor with Cyber Metal. Alright, and then this is the last thing I picked up on my Hoove Records order. This is a I think this is. I think they have a couple albums out maybe already. This is Lethal Desire by Chainbreaker. These guys are out of Canada. You might just assume a band's from Canada, as Canada is just destroying the world of metal right now. But anyway, these guys are out of Canada. They play a very kind of very gritty, thrashy speed metal, kind of like a Bat if you're familiar with that band. This is also a Hell's Headbangers band. This guy's mustache is also killing the metal game. There's actually, there's another good mustache in this file I'll get to show you. But this guy, what's this guy's name? Yeah, this guy's name's also Ian Chains, which I don't know if that's his real name, but God, I hope so. I hope it is. Anyway, nothing too super fancy with this one. I don't think it's like a groundbreaking album or anything, but it's just some nice, good, riffy speed metal. So yeah, definitely give these guys a listen if that sounds good to you. Chainbreaker with Lethal Desire. All right, here's an album that I'm excited to show you. This is going to be somewhere on my top list for sure. These guys are out of Sweden. This is Lowest Creature with Sacrilegious Pain. Now, if you like Power Trip at all, you're going to enjoy this album a lot. I don't know if you want to say they're a clone. You can say that if you want. I don't really like using that terminology necessarily, but if you don't care about that terminology, yeah, you can call these guys a Power Trip clone because, man, they sound very much like Power Trip. If you're gonna do, I like the packaging on this. It's kind of like looks vinyl-ish, or whatever you want to say. But if you're gonna do a slide in and out CD, put it in one of these little jackets. So I appreciate that. Anyway, yeah, the riffs are just absolutely destroying. Solid soloing. The vocals are awesome. Have that good hardcore flair to them. Yeah, this album just freaking rips from beginning to end. No complaints from me. Just riff city. And actually, I was actually more disappointed that when I tried to order this, the album art T-shirt was no longer available. So anyway, Lowest Creature, Sacrilegious Pain, thrashy, hardcore, and like I said a million times already, if you like Power Trip, you're gonna like this. Here we go. Lowest Creature, Sacrilegious Pain. Alright, next one up. This is a cool release. I actually should have grabbed the guy's name. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago or so, it had been a long time since I'd gone through my Discogs mail. Mostly it's just someone edited some shit on a release you own. And so anyway, I was cleaning all that shit out, and I had actually come across a message that someone had sent me I don't know, it was 6 or 7 months previously. I felt really bad that they had sent. Anyway, it has someone who apparently watches the channel, but does not have a social media presence anywhere else really. Anyway, they sort of just stopped by to say, hey, thanks for doing videos. I like what you do. And I mentioned had suggested some artists to me, and one of the ones they ended up suggesting to me was this sort of. He described it as cobbled, but more horror themed, and I don't know if it was just Omen or what, but it was I don't know. I felt like it was a week later or something. Out of season, announced that they were doing a cassette version of an album by the artist that he had mentioned. Anyway, so I was like, well, that's a sign, gotta buy it. So I did, and it finally arrived this past week, actually. This is Cimitir, which I'm assuming is probably translates to cemetery, with Darkthrone. And yeah, he was right. This is I don't even know if you really want to describe this as dungeon synth, but yeah, definitely has a nice, cool horror aspect vibe to it. Mine's, I don't know if you can see it, but mine's, because I think they wrote it in orange. Mine's number 4 of 100. Also came with this glittery pumpkin sticker, which I thought was awesome. So I'll always keep that with it. Anyway, it comes in this white, it's more of a cream actually, with the brick outer barrier design. Anyway, cool stuff. It's more of a EP, I guess, because like, I don't know, it's like 19, 20 minutes long. Cool cover art though. I really like. Has a cool, kind of creepy flair to it. Also, sort of has like a, I don't know, 80s VHS kind of a vibe with the arrangement of the layout. What's the guy's name? It's like that's something Nate. What is that? Netherworld Nate. There he is, looking creepy there. Anyway, cool stuff. Nothing that I'm like over the top in love with, but yeah, it's definitely a cool, different change of pace if you're into sort of Dungeon Synth stuff and you want kind of a horror vibe to it. Maybe give this a go. I'm not really sure what genre we want to call this, but I think horror Dungeon Synth is probably a good enough descriptor to kind of get you to where you need to be. Anyway, cool stuff. Cimitir with this is Duskhymns, not Darkthrone. Duskhymns. You probably saw it on the screen. We're like, what an idiot. Anyway, Cimitir with Duskhymns. All this stuff coming from out of season. A couple things that I like seeing. I like seeing the word CD out of season. Keep on releasing CDs. Oh, okay, let's move on. Next up, this is a raw black metal release. I think they're out of the United States, maybe New Jersey, maybe. I'm not really sure. Anyway, this is Aqua Queen with I think it's demo 1. Anyway, this is nothing super special, but it's some solid raw black metal. Pretty cool. I'll leave a link. You can check it out. It's like it's on Bandcamp. That's where I got it. Anyway, one thing that I thought was cool with this release was that I didn't know it actually until it came with a note explaining it. But actually, the logo has actually been like hand done onto the cassette, which I thought was super rad. 3 of 15. So anyway, yeah, that's super rad. So props to this. I don't know if it was actually the artist who did it or not. Yeah, it doesn't actually say. Anyway, regardless of who did it, props to the band for doing something cool. And I guess if one of the people and the artists did it, extra props for doing something cool. So anyway, that's Aqua Queen. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what I'm gonna go with. Occoquain with demo 1. Raw black metal. Check it out. Alright, another cassette. I actually already got a copy of this. This is a Solicitor with what is it? It's EP 2019. But I bought the red version. Wanted to have a white version because I'm a sick individual. And so yeah, picked up the white version as well. Only one copy this time, as I picked up 2 copies. First time around. For the second one to give away, which I still need to come up with I think I sort of have a lame idea that I might do for a contest, but the cassettes will continue to pile up as I slowly come up with an idea of a giveaway. Anyway, let's move on. Next one up, and actually let's turn this up. Anyway, all right, next up, released out through Triple B Records in Massachusetts. this is just an absolute monster album. This is Fuming Mouth with the Grande Descent. Obviously, before we even get to the music, let's just take a look at how amazing this album art is. Without looking, I'm gonna guess it's the same dude who did the amazing album art for the Mirror Reaper album. Anyway, awesome album art. This is a great example of great album art drawing me to a release and then the music keeping me there. This is I don't know what we'll say. We'll say it's like a grindy, hardcore release, more on the grind end of things. Just an absolute battering ram, just pounds and pounds and pounds its way through you from the beginning of the album. It also pounds you in the middle of the album, and then it just continues pounding and pounding you until the album's over. And then you're like, whoa, that was some pounding. And then you're like, you know what? Let's get pounded again. And you just push play again, because it's one of those albums that's kind of just like, like I said, it's just like battering ram. But I don't know. You just want to listen to it. You just want to listen to it right after you're done. It's just like absolutely relentless. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really say anything else much about it. Suggested it to a good buddy of mine. He said that he compared it actually to Nails, which is a band I still haven't looked into, which he replied with a crying, laughing emoji to me. But anyway, yeah, check it out, maybe if you're into Nails. So yeah, Fuming Mouth with the Grande Descent. All right, next up, this is an interesting one. This is the new one from Darkthrone's own in Norway. This is the new one, Old Star. This one has gotten sort of, I think, mixed reviews, I'll say it. Some people have been saying they super like it a lot. Some people have said that they think it's pretty tired. And I think my opinion is actually more in the middle of that. And I can actually tell you pretty quite easily where that is delineated. And let's see if I can find out where that is shown. Because I feel like it's shown in like a key or something. Where is it shown? Oh yeah, here we go. Because they have the symbols on the back. And then I gotta find... Here we go, yes, yeah. So, as you can see on the back, they have all the songs have these symbols. It's either it's like a little square symbol or like a Y looking symbol. Maybe those actually have names, but anyway, those symbols correspond to songwriting credits, as in either Nocturnal Culto or Fenris. And I think for me, the album is perfectly delineated in the fact that I like all the Nocturnal Culto songs, and all the Fenris songs are kind of for me. So yeah, I mean, pretty much they go back and forth. So I Muffle Your Inner Choir, Old Star, the title track, and then Duke of Gloat. Those are the songs that were written by Nocturnal Culto, and I really like those songs. I kind of feel like the album in general, I feel like definitely has strayed from the similar stuff they've been doing over the last few. They've kind of dropped that sort of kind of black and roll kind of thing they had going on. This one, at least for me, it kind of is more, people have been saying like Doom, and really what I think it's more is just like, is that they're kind of doing like, kind of a post-metal, rock, black metal thing, and so everything's a lot slower. And so I don't know if that's why they're thinking Doom, because I don't really feel like I'm hearing much either Doom as in like traditional Black Sabbath Doom, or even just like the Death Doom stuff like My Dying Bride or anything that's just sort of a slower Doom. So I'm not sure. I'm not hearing the Doom either. But anyway, I sort of, especially in the Nocturnal Culto tracks, I'm hearing a lot of like not quite Droot kind of stuff, but I'm sort of hearing an influence in that way, and that's why I'm kind of feeling like sort of a post black metal kind of sound kind of going on. I'm not sure if that's really accurate or not, but at least that's how I've been hearing it. Regardless, overall, it's kind of a mediocre album for me, because even the Nocturnal Culto songs are just okay. I did sort of actually sort of like the last track, the key and the key is inside the wall. That one was kind of okay for me, but otherwise the Fenris tracks kind of didn't quite hit for me, and yeah. Anyway, don't really have much to add. You can probably check out some other people's opinions on Darkthrone too to see what they say. But for me, kind of a middle of the road album. As the last few actually have been some of my more favorite ones, including Circle the Wagners, which is up there in terms of my top all-time Darkthrone albums even. So anyway, kind of disappointed that they kind of didn't stick along with that black and roll sound, because I was enjoying that. But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, Old Star, Darkthrone. Give it a go. Give it your own chance. Draw your own opinion. All right, next up, this is a awesome tech death release. God, these guys, I'm pretty sure these guys are out of Canada. I should actually remember, because there was a big snafu with trying to order this because the shipping was out of control. Marvel and I had to, Sir Meatwad and I had to go on these together. This is, like I said, tech death metal band. This is Plaguebringer with Diabolos. Awesome technical death metal. Just, I don't know, I can't even really, just, if you like tech death, definitely give this a go. There's I'll leave a link. It's on Bandcamp. You can listen to it. Just awesome. The techiness in particular is what I love about this release. It's just really fantastic. Great soloing and stuff like that as well. Riffs also quite excellent. Kind of really drawing blank on really what to say on this one, to be honest. I'm not sure why. But anyway, if you're into tech death stuff, definitely give this one a go. Plaguebringer, Diabolos, really good stuff. And I definitely recommend check this one out. All right, next one up. This one actually I was surprised by how much I really liked this release. It'll definitely end up on my list somewhere. This is the new one from Portuguese heavy metal band Midnight Priest with Aggressive Hauntings. I discovered this band, I think maybe, God, I'm not sure if it was last year. I think it actually might have been 2017. Anyway, great band. I think the guitarist, I think what he goes by in this band, it's like Iron Fist, is that the guy? Yeah, anyway, one of the guitarists of this band, super is awesome, and I think I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, awesome riffs in this band, awesome soloing in this band. One thing that was of note of this band was the vocalist Lex Thunder. The last album, I think, was the first release where he was the vocalist. They had a previous singer before. Anyway, good stuff. Thought it was a really solid singer, a lot of energy. But no, you had to sort of note that the guy wasn't the strongest vocalist, which I personally didn't mind at all, and even appreciated his willingness to go for those high notes. In fact, even and not that this really means much, because this is something my brother literally almost always texts back to me about any band that ever uses high-pitched vocals. But he texted back when I texted him a song. He said, should sing high-pitched more. So anyway, take that for what it will. Anyway, these guys are back with another riff-filled album. And man, let me tell you, the riffs on this one are freaking sweet. I would say pretty much almost every single song, like immediately, I'm like, this song freaking rules. riffs are just really, really strong on this album. The solos are also really quite strong on this album. In particular, the title track, Aggressive Hauntings, also quite a good solo. One thing I will note, as I spoke about the vocals of our vocals here, Lex Thunder, the production on this album is fantastic. It actually says, I think it actually said that the band did the production. Anyway, I'm not sure whoever is involved in the mixing or making the vocals within the production. Man, perfect job. His vocals sound fantastic. If I didn't already know that his vocals might not be the strongest, I might not be able to sort of tell at all. But anyway, they sound freaking awesome. I really think that the production does a really good job accentuating the strengths of his vocals while masking the maybe flaws that he might have. Anyway, whatever's going on with the vocal production on this release, keep doing that because it sounds awesome. And anyway, like I said, the combination of all three of those things, the riffs, the solos, and then again the strong vocal performance that I think Lex Thunder's given us here. I just want to shout out to Joe Dalton here with the this is a freaking fantastic picture. Thank you, Joe Dalton. The combination of those three riff solos and then the strong vocal performance that I think Lex Thunder's given us here. Awesome album. Love it. Really, really good. So yeah, if you're into the new wave of traditional heavy metal scene, definitely give this album by Midnight Priest, Aggressive Hauntings, a listen. Dog toy. Next up, a little change of pace for a second, just because that's what's in the pile. This is I guess they're calling it the debut full-length album from the rap group Injury Reserve. This is the artist that was turned on to me by Sirmit Wad a couple years ago. They have, I guess, I don't know what they want to call them. They're not calling them albums. I guess mini albums or something. But they have 2 albums and an EP. And then, there's the back. I guess there's not really much to show. Anyway, good stuff. Really like it a lot. I don't know if I would say I like it as much as I like, I guess, really any of their other releases. But I think it's fairly on par, to be honest. But yeah, good stuff. There quite a few, what do you call them? Guest appearances on this album, including Freddie Gibbs, what is probably my favorite track, Wax On. Yeah, Freddie, is that the one? Yeah, that's one Freddie Gibbs is on, Wax On. Anyway, number of awesome tracks, including a fun one, what are they calling it on here? Rap song tutorial. That one's really fun. I actually wish that I could get a actual legit version of the song that's being created in the song. Rap song tutorial. Anyway, if you're into rap, definitely give these guys a go. They're a solid group with some interesting production, and I think overall really 2 strong rappers. And they both have very different styles as well, which I think always benefits a rap group. But anyway, Injury Reserve, self-titled release. If you're into rap, check it out.
Sometime how things align. Love the fans that say we don't get enough shine. I mean, shit. Well, they is in line. Seen a couple shitty.
All right, this one next up. This is a band, and oh man, I think these guys are out of Spain. This is Lyzzärd with Savage. I enjoy this album art. Kind of makes me think of like a Mad Max Ash combination. Ash from Evil Dead. Anyway, these guys play like a cool heavy metal, kind of speed metal kind of thing going on, which I like a lot. Yeah, good stuff. The riffs are really strong. The soloing is pretty good too. Just realized that there's two people in this band named Tiago. Which is kind of cool. Anyway. Forgive me. Anyway, check this one out. This is Lyzzärd with Savage. Awesome. Cool. Nice heavy metal, speed metal kind of stuff. Alright, next one up. This one's actually super rad. This is something that Eric Bauer showed his original. He might have had the LP. I'm sure he probably had the LP version of it. But in like I don't know how long ago it was. It was years ago now that he showed it. Anyway, put it on my watch list for the CD version on Discogs, and pretty much I don't know if it's ever shown up. I've never seen it until just recently, and anyway, finally popped up. It was like $40, and I was like, man, you know what? I've never seen it show up before, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe bite the bullet and jump on it. And I don't know what made me do it, but I went to the release itself, and I noticed that actually a label in Malaysia had actually just done a reissue of that album on CD, and for like a normal CD price. So I was like, fuck it, let's order that. So I did, and here it is. This is the compilation release with a cool OE strip that I freaking ripped upon opening this like a total jackass. Anyway, if you can't tell, it looks cool to have the obi. Anyway, this, like I said, this is the compilation release from these guys are out of Sweden as well. A lot of Sweden in this pile. A hardcore punk artist, black uniforms with Splatter Punx on acid. Comes on this cool gatefold packaging that's actually really cool and well done. I can get some to not shine as well. Anyway, cool stuff. The thing that actually, when Eric Bauer showed this, thing that I liked a lot about this band was I thought the riffs were really, really appealing. And so, yeah, like I said, after listening to this a few times, I continue to agree with that opinion that the riffs are just super, super appealing. Not as into the slide with this CD as there is no protection, but there you go. Kind of has that same sort of collage look to it. As opposed to having a lighter note booklet, it came with this, which actually I thought was kind of cool, considering the scarcity of the original release. Has a sort of giant block text what do you want to call it, flyer kind of on this goldenrod color paper. I'm not going to read this out loud because, like I said, it's, or as you can see even, it's just a gigantic wall of text. But essentially it just sort of talks about the release and you know, sort of just about the band in general. So it's kind of cool just to kind of read through that if you want to. I'm not sure if you'll be able to read this or not. Probably not, but if you want to, I'll slowly move this up, and if you want to, if it's legible, you can take the time to read that for yourself. I'm sure this is horrible video, as I'm sure that you probably can't read this, but in just in case you can, there you go. Anyway, super glad to pick this up, and I'm super glad to pick it up for a not ridiculous, outrageous price. Black uniforms, Splatter Punx on acid. Thank you, Black Conflict Records out of Malaysia. Alright, and last, but certainly not least, another album I've been waiting to show up on Discogs for freaking ever on CD, and finally it did. And actually, for like not even like a regular CD price, actually like cheaper than a regular CD price. So that was awesome. super jacked about this one. This is Cost of Living by Incendiary. Incendiary came onto my radar a couple years ago in 2017 when they released their album 1,000 Mile Stare, which freaking rules and just like is like riffy as fuck, and like you just want to swing your fists around and be angry. I don't know, it was like number 12 maybe in my top 30 list for that year. Thanks Ross Hodo for turning me on to this band. Anyway, this is the album that came out before 1,000 Mile Stare. Cost of Living is the title, and yeah, it's right up there, man. Just riff city. Just like you want to like freaking headbang. Hardcore vocals. The guy sounds like Zach De La Roca, which is always kind of just an interesting, fun addition. Yeah, awesome stuff. I went ahead and just ordered. They never actually released the very first album. I think it's called Crusade on CD. So went ahead and picked up the vinyl. That'll be here sometime soon. Anyway, if you ever listen to their album 1,000 Mile Stare and you never checked this one out, definitely do so, because it's right up there. It's good stuff. Awesome hardcore. Incendiary. Cost of Living. Alright, I'm gonna stop it here. Got another 1/3 pile left to show you. Hopefully I'll do that one like maybe I'll record it tonight, maybe I'll record it tomorrow. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of these releases, please let me know what you think of them. And otherwise, have a good day.